Welcome to the Life of Styn, where our goal is to make your life yours again. Today we're going to be talking about forgiveness to oneself and others and why we should even bother with it. I find myself trying to balance the practical topics about everyday mundane life, as well as ancient history, wisdom, mysticism, and what we're all here for. And today feels more like one of those practical everyday life ones. Now, if you want to learn more about the universe, you only need to learn more about yourself. You're a part of it, not separate. Just like nature, you're a part of it, not outside of it. So when we learn this, we can start to discover how we are like the things of this world, while at the same time, not. So, anyways, let's get into the topic forgiveness. So, first off, forgiveness is more times than not for the other person, it's for yourself. It also doesn't mean that you're going to give room for the other person so to make the same mistake to you again. You can forgive someone for what they did, usually through understanding or through realizing that only you carry the pain when you don't forgive someone. You can forgive someone and not have them be a part of your life anymore. You can forgive someone without fear that you will allow someone else to do the same to you. Now, like the title of the video, forgive but don't forget. Life has constructed challenges for you that might be quote unquote hard, but never will throw something at you that you can't handle. And so we have people who hurt us, sometimes consciously, but more times than not unconsciously. Now, just like in Stoicism, we are only in control of our own actions, thoughts, emotions, and whatnot. We have little to no control of others. I mean, obviously, there are exceptions. Those that act unconsciously without drive or intent are doomed to be pulled and swayed by others' will, so long as our will has no vision. This is why masses of people can sometimes be referred to as sheep like, acting out the wills of others unconsciously. A mind that is conscious has choice and can direct their own will towards what they desire. Now, that's a whole other topic, but let's get back on track. I want to finish talking about forgiveness towards others, and then we'll finish up by talking about forgiveness towards the self. Now, why forgive others? There are people out there that commit evil acts that should not go unnoticed. Now, regardless, we aren't worried about others. We here are worried about you and yourself, your own well being, your peace, and your joy. Those are our priorities here. You want to change the world? You want peace? You want joy? Then, if we change ourselves to such a state, the world will be much closer to that place we desire. Now, we need to stop pointing fingers and blaming others. That's when we start entering the victim mindset, and that's when others start dictating the direction that we're headed. Change yourself. You will change the universe. Now, forgiveness is a superpower, and when wielded correctly, can create a lot of peace in your life. Again, when someone wrongs you, more times than not, they justify and excuse their wrongdoing, or some mask their wrongdoings with good intentions and sometimes act very apologetically for their own motives, then commit the same crimes again. If you apologize but you don't change your behavior, then you aren't sorry. You're sorry you got caught, and now you have to preserve your ego to perpetuate your lies, betrayal, or deceit. Now, forgive others for what they've done, but learn from it, and don't forget, lest you be trapped by the same experience that put you in that situation. When you forgive others, you let go of the pain. You no longer need closure. And more times than not, you're not going to get any. So it's up to you to cultivate your own peace and happiness. Bitterness and resentment will not help you here. Determine the level of what happened to you. Is it repairable? Is it a simple misunderstanding? Or has this person revoked the privilege of being in your life? Now, whatever it may be, forgiveness can occur. Like I said, you can forgive someone and not have anything to do with them ever again. You are forgiving the situation. You're forgiving yourself for allowing yourself to be there. When you forgive someone, you forgive yourself. Sometimes you can't help what happens to you. In that way, we can't blame ourselves. Forgiveness frees you and gives you your power back. When you don't forgive, you reserve yourself and shut down and potentially ruin future relationships with others that are actually good hearted. There are 7 steps towards forgiveness I have here, and here they are. 1, acknowledge your feelings. Okay, recognize and validate the pain, the anger, or resentment that you experience. Label the reasons for your distress. Identify the specific actions or situations that are causing your feelings of guilt or hurt. Number 3, apologize if applicable. Offer sincere apologies towards yourself or others if you feel remorse or guilt. 4, show yourself compassion. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, recognizing that everyone makes mistakes. 5, learn from the experience. Reflect on what you've learned from the situation and how you can grow from it. 6, commit to change. If you feel you need to change your behavior or actions, make a conscious effort to do so. 7, forgive yourself. Accept yourself for your mistakes and choose to move forward with a renewed sense of self-compassion and understanding. I'm going to give you a personal example of forgiveness and why I'm so glad I've cultivated the power of forgiveness. So, everyone's been in a bad relationship before, and obviously, I am no different. I've had my fair share of bad relationships, and this one I was in particularly, uh, it kind of just fell off. I'm not going to go into a lot of the details about it, but at the end of the day, I acknowledged what they could have done different and what they did wrong. I acknowledged what I did different and what I did wrong, and I just accepted it as it was. There's nothing really more to that, and it doesn't really matter what they could have done better or different. I just acknowledge what I could have done different or better, so that next time when I find the right person, that I can have a relationship that's just that much stronger. Okay, and so now we're going to talk about arguably, for me, something harder to do, and that's forgiving yourself. Many of us suffer from perfectionism and are very hard on ourselves, much harder than we are on others. Now, first of all, think of someone close to you. Think about the way you understand them and how you accept their mistakes and how much you love and how much love you show them when going through difficulties. Now, why can't you give yourself that same love? You don't criticize them or beat them up about it, I hope at least. Love yourself the same way. Here's a good pathway towards forgiving yourself. 1, acknowledge and process your emotions. Recognize your feelings. Don't try to suppress or ignore your emotions. Acknowledge your sadness, guilt, regret, or shame. Allow yourself to feel. To heal it, you have to feel it. As bad as it sucks, as much as you don't want to, you have to. But it just keeps coming up in your life anyway if you don't allow yourself to, and then you're going to be feeling it forever instead of just powerfully once. So give yourself permission to feel the full range of emotions without judgment. Identify the triggers. Understand what situations or thoughts trigger your self criticism. Now, take responsibility and learn from your mistakes. Own your actions. Accept that you made a mistake and acknowledge the impact it had. Express remorse. This doesn't mean beating yourself up, but rather acknowledging the harm caused. Okay? Learn from the experience. Identify what you can learn from the mistake to prevent repeating it. Practice self-compassion and kindness. Treat yourself with kindness. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend who made a mistake. Okay, practice self-compassion. Acknowledge your human, or your, sorry, let me restart. So, self-compassion again. Acknowledge your humanity and the fact that everyone makes mistakes, like I just did there. Challenge negative self-talk. Replace harsh judgments with understanding and empathy. Make amends and move forward. Repair any damage if possible. Make amends for your actions, either directly with those affected or indirectly through actions, and forgive yourself. Once you've acknowledged your actions, taken responsibility, and learned from the experience, forgive yourself for the mistake. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You did everything you could, you did the best you could, and that's enough. And you have to start acknowledging that that is enough, because there's nothing more you can do. Focus on the present. Don't dwell on the past. Focus on moving forward and make positive changes. And 5, seek support if needed. Talk to a trusted friend or family member. Sharing your feelings can provide support and perspective. Consider seeking professional help, a therapist or counselor, or even someone like me or others in this field that can provide you some guidance and support in your journey of self-forgiveness. Now, I hope you've learned something here. And I hope you know it is okay to forgive yourself and others without having to worry about making the same mistakes again. Forgive, but don't forget. Now, maybe some people don't deserve forgiveness, but you do. You deserve to not carry that anymore. You deserve peace and joy. Now, I want to leave you with one last important piece of information, okay, provided by Sadhguru, if you've ever heard of him. Human beings largely suffer their own memory and imagination. That is, they suffer that which does not exist. What happened 10 days ago or 10 years ago, you can still suffer. What may happen thereafter, you can already suffer. This means your suffering is not of life. Your suffering is of your memory and imagination. Memory is accumulation of the past. Imagination is projection of what future could be. Both are not here right now, right here. Once you start suffering that which is not here, tell me, where is the solution? If you're suffering what is there right now, well, there's a fix for that. There's a solution for that. But if you're suffering that which does not exist, there is no solution for that. So the majority amount of suffering that's happening in human minds is always about what they remember and what they imagine. This can be easily settled with a simple process within yourself. If you engineer your interiority a little bit, you can organize your memory, the awareness of present experience and imagination separately. Then your memory can enrich your life and your imagination can manifest your life in the most fantastic ways. Now let's make it happen. And with that, I hope you have the day you're meant to have. Adonai.